Hi everyone, I'm Lerilyn with House of Coty Design. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, this channel is all about sewing, pattern making, sometimes embroidery, and just all of my projects that I'm working on either for myself or for clients. Today I'm just doing some tips on working with nude mesh for a project. Let's get to the sewing machine. So this is the Bernina 740. And it has a feature called Creative Consultant. I have shared it on the channel before. It's this little dress figure here. And basically, Creative Consultant gives you the option to choose the type of fabric you're working with. So if I'm working with knits, this is your woven fabric. This is your knit here. So if I'm going to go with a mid-weight knit, and I'm just going to basically do a straight stitch, what it tells me is the type of needle to use, and it's number 80. I have the jersey needle in size 80 here that it's already preloaded in the machine, and it gives you the option of the type of thread to use. The presser foot that's already used on this machine is your standard D foot, and you could either use a straight stitch or zigzag with the feature of the type of fabric. So again, this is just a nude mesh fabric, so let's go ahead and get out of that. And basically I'm going to go with the straight stitch. Now usually the tension, it's adjusted based on those features as well. Again, the pressure area of the presser foot, it's showing 30 for this particular fabric as well. So that's just a neat feature of the sewing machine. This is the flesh tone nude mesh. It's like a copper colored fabric here. And it's close to me, but this particular dress, it's not for me. So that's pretty nice. I love it. It's very soft. And the dress, it's going to be a stretchy knit dress as well. So I've got all my pins here. And once I have my dimensions or everything set up, parameters is a better word, I guess, on the machine, I'm going to load up the fabric. And this pattern, it's one of my self-drafted patterns. This calls for a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let's lower the presser foot, lower the needle, and let's stitch. I have to just be real careful with this one because I don't have the that presser foot for, I forgot what it's called, but it kind of prevents this machine. This one is notorious for eating your fabric, so you just have to be real careful. And if it does eat through, you're just going to have to take your time and lift it up and work your way out. You have to be real careful because I actually had to take this machine in a few months back when this happened to have it repaired because a piece of the feed dog actually broke by pulling it too hard. So definitely don't want to do that again. So what I'm doing is just removing all of this from it and the throat plate, and I'm just going to carefully release the fabric that's underneath that feed dog. Just use my needle, my little snips, just push that away. And actually what I'm going to do is grab my what's it called? I'm going to grab the seam ripper. So I actually wanted to share with you what happens when you don't have the correct throat plate. Sometimes all of your fabric gets pulled through. You don't have to panic. So you just take off that throat plate and you just work the fabric through slowly. That's the simple part. The difficult part is not breaking those feed dogs. So what I have to do, and I've learned to troubleshoot these types of problems myself, instead of having to take them into the service person, which is pretty pricey. So you just want to remove the table, extension table. And with this machine, you've got the front loading bobbin. I want to open that part up, bring that around for you to see. And you pop this bobbin out. And when you pop the bobbin out, you'll see all this wad of thread underneath. All of that is what came out. So you can do this at home without, having to have an extensive mistake like I did the first time, and having to take it into a repair person. And I drive like an hour and a half away to the repair people that I use for this machine, because the local ones were so horrible customer service. I didn't really bother giving them a nickel. So I had to learn a hard lesson and sharing with you how to fix it. Okay, so once that's done, let's try this again. And again, you just have to make sure when you're working with nude mesh, any type of really stretchy jersey fabric, you're just really careful that you have the right type of throat plate and needle, because it's difficult and you don't want to mess up your machine. These are too expensive for that. So just take my time and let it glide. As I push the fabric through, it's a little bit easier to push it. But one of these days, I am going to go ahead and get that other throat plate. Just backstitch here and cut. Alright. Let's lift that up and let's cut the thread. And I'm just going to go back over on the other edge, and I'm just going to catch that other edge with a few more stitches too. Yep. Just bring that all the way across and backstitch a little bit more and cut. So I really didn't worry about doing French seams and all that on this one. Again, it's going to be on the inside of the dress. I'm just going to basically clean finish it. So from the inside, that's the dart for the back piece, and that's the front piece. So I'm just going to clean up the inside, trim down that seam allowance, and that's it. So again, when you're working with nude mesh, make sure, guys, that you're real careful with your choice of needle, the tension on the machine. You can get all of that in your manual, and I'm sure the manuals today tell you exactly tips of which fabrics to use, but some of those fancy machines are preloaded. You just press a button and it tells you what to do. And of course, I just use a lot of pins when sewing with nude mesh. So follow me as I finish this dress. And again, please consider subscribing if it's your first time to the channel, or if you've been sneaking peeking, I appreciate that too. It helps small channels like this to grow. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to take the lining and turn it inside out, and we're going to try it on and see how it fits for a nice test. So I'm not going to take all this off. I'm just going to start from the bottom, and it's a little tough for me to still bend, guys. Those of you who have been watching, I had a total hip replacement, so still a little rough. So let's pull this up here. We're just going to fix that around the shoulder seam. let's straighten this out. That's your side seam there. So I think it's looking pretty good. We do have some areas back here we'll have to adjust somewhat. Looks like a little bit on that side seam. We may have to take in a little bit on that right side. But in terms of the top, it's got a nice fit around the shoulder and the side seam. That's nice and snug, nicely fitted. In the back, I think we could probably tweak a little bit. Again, like I said, on the side seam, I think it'll take care of what we have here to kind of pull that in. Probably from waist all the way down. But so far, so good. So that's my tips for working with nude mesh, guys. Peace.